They say it's not what you know, it's who you know. A new study on reducing poverty suggests that is true, and that could be key to lifting people out of poverty. Researchers use data from millions of Facebook accounts to measure the nation's economic connectedness. They call it the Social Capital Atlas. You can see the national map of it here. It's the proportion of an area's low-income residents that have wealthy friends. Higher connectedness is in the lighter shades of green, the darker shades of green, rather. So what are the ingredients for a successful economic connection? And where do some communities fall short? Let's discuss it with Matthew Jackson, a co-author of the Social Capital Atlas. He's an economics professor at Stanford and the Santa Fe Institute. Professor, welcome. Good to have you with us.
Thank you, Joshua. It's a pleasure to be here.
Let me get to your list of the top 5 counties in terms of their economic connectedness. Number 1 is Rockingham County, New Hampshire, then Madison County, Idaho, Falk County, South Dakota, Carroll County, Maryland, and Snohomish County in Washington. Bottom 5, Todd County, South Dakota, Early County, Georgia, Lowndes County, Alabama, Corson County, South Dakota, and Tunica County, Mississippi. What is it that those top 5 counties could teach those bottom 5 counties? What's the lesson there?
Well, there's 2 different things that really determine economic connectedness, and one is how much are people in contact with each other? So do you have geographic segregation, or in the schools, are the schools segregated by income? And then the second is conditional on putting people together, do they actually make those friendships? So you can have a high school which is half poor, half rich, but the friendships don't necessarily form across those lines. And so what you're seeing in terms of that geographic diversity that you showed on those maps is that, you know, you can be in different areas. It could be that they're separated in terms of location, or it could be that even when they're put together, they're not forming friendships.
Elaborate on the impact that people of different income levels are having on one another as you see it from your study. And there may, you know, this is one metric. There may be other ways to discern that maybe future studies will illuminate. So I don't want you to necessarily guess beyond your knowledge, but what is that impact in terms of why having income diversity among friendships helps lift everyone up?
Right. I think that there's a lot going on, and part of it is people's aspirations depend on their peers. So you know what kids are like in high school. Kids are paying attention to what other kids around them are doing. Are they studying? Are they turning in their homework? Are they not? Are they goofing off? They're hanging out with their friends. They take cues from that. What are they planning to go to university? Did their siblings go to university? What are their parents' aspirations for them? So there's a whole series of things. And then also there's knowledge. Do I even know of anybody who's gone to university? Do I know what it takes to study for exams and to get into a good university? So there's a whole series of things that are piled on top of each other and depend heavily on people's networks.
I'm just Google mapping it because I'm not familiar with some of these places that you mentioned. I know I got to let you go in just a second, but Todd County, South Dakota, there is a large Indian reservation there. It's largely the Rosebud Indian Reservation. So it seems like an area where there almost couldn't be a lot of economic diversity, right, because so much of it is reservation land that's far away from, say, some of the relatively wealthier parts of South Dakota, well far away from the state capital or Rapid City or Sioux Falls. In terms of what to do about some of these areas where there just isn't income diversity around, how do you bridge that gap? I mean, are they just out of luck because they don't have those connections, or could virtual connections, you did measure Facebook, could that be a key to this?
I think it takes more than just virtual connections. Part of it will be bringing in mentorships, getting people exposed. If one can't bring people together, then part of it is trying to figure out what's missing from the people who aren't, making those connections. Why aren't they rising out of poverty? And I think, this is one piece of a bigger puzzle and mosaic that we need to understand, which is, obviously when you have those people around, it makes a difference in how you act and what you aspire to. But short of that, can we get the information to people? Can we have mentors to people who don't have access to other, they don't have the normal community of friends who are moving out of poverty, can we help them overcome those divides?
Stanford economist Matthew Jackson, co-author of the Social Capital Atlas. It's fascinating conceptually about how we interact with and impact one another. And I appreciate you making time to talk to us tonight. Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.